This is Charleston's retirement coach, Brandon Bowen.
And I'm Heather Branch here with Brandon to talk about ways you can be working now to better prepare for your financial future. Bowenwealth.com is where you can start your own conversation with Brandon about your retirement savings questions. We also have links posted in the show notes. So you can just click there or, again, find us anytime at Bowenwealth.com. And I realize we are technically still in the throes of the winter days. But in my opinion, this is the best time to be starting out our spring cleaning.
Uh-huh.
Do you do spring cleaning ever?
Yeah, I've been doing that.
You have been already?
Yeah, I've been cleaning out closets.
Nice.
You got to pull here's my strategy. Pull everything out.
And then get entirely overwhelmed.
And then only put back what you've used or need, in the last couple years.
Yep.
It's surprising. You're like, whoa, look at all this space in here.
Well, and as you know, Kyle and I are moving. We are selling our house and moving to a townhouse. And let me tell you something right now. If you ever need motivation to clean out and get rid of a move, there is nothing like a move.
Yep.
To make you throw things. You throw things away with savage aggression. Something you think you would hold on and treasure forever. You throw away with a disregard that you did not know you had inside you. Like you just let stuff go.
And then when you guys get moved in, we're gonna have to talk about this again to see if you have unpacked everything.
Right. The things, there's something like if you have a box that's been sitting there for 6 months, don't even open it. Just give it to Goodwill.
There you go.
Whatever is inside it, you no longer need.
Yes.
That's another good way to edit. All right. We'll see. I can't stand the side of boxes because I'm one of these people that's addicted to organizing. We've talked about this before, right? Like the Marie Kondo and all those organizing. I am like that. All I want to do is clean out and get rid of. My husband's the exact opposite. So
and cockroaches love those cardboard. I've learned that the hard way in a previous house with the down there.
If you leave the cardboard boxes stacked up, you are setting yourself up for a little house of cockroaches.
For a surprise. The flying ones. The flying cockroaches around
Brandon,
here.
stop. Gonna have nightmares. You have no idea. I hate cockroaches.
Everybody knows everybody's seen it. And you've
well, here in the South, it's just, they do. It's like those things, I swear on my hair. One time I opened a cabinet and I saw one sitting there smoking a cigarette, drinking a martini, like legs crossed. Those things have personalities.
Yes. Oh, God.
Okay, can we change the conversation?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. We've already lost every listener. That's fine.
I was thinking about the idea of when it comes to our spring cleaning, perhaps you are already super organized, but how organized are you in your financial house? Because there is efforts and steps you can be taking in that space as well to organize yourself. And so with that in mind, I'm a fan of cleaning out and I'm a fan of lists because there's nothing more satisfying than creating a list and checking things off. So if you are about 5 years from your retirement goal age and you're thinking about what do you need to be working on, we have this checklist, Brandon. Things to do 5 years before retirement. And basically what they're saying is know what's coming in, know what's going out, have a plan for taxes and healthcare, which seems very simple. And the question is this understating the process? Are we missing something? Is this too basic of a checklist?
I guess it's just that simple, right? We're done.
It's so easy.
I don't even have a job anymore. It's just boom.
Right.
No. So, with that list, I love how they're saying 5 years from retirement to be doing this. So you listening, right? I mean, if you're thinking, I'm going to retire in 5 years, well, I'm speaking to you, and if you're inside that 5 year window, you better get going.
Okay.
So the easy stuff that they're talking about, I would say, is knowing what's going out. Okay, by this point, you should have a pretty good idea on your expenses.
And also, in this day and age, it's so easy to tally up your expenses because everything is digital. Yes. You just download your bills, dump it in a spreadsheet. Same thing, your credit card and your checking account. Everything is categorized for you almost already.
But I'll take it a step further and start separating your needs versus wants.
Okay.
In retirement, so you need your dignity, your light bill, as people say, electricity, the things that you have to have, and then you've got your wants, So separate them like that. Your mortgage, I'm okay with a mortgage, especially if you've got a good low interest rate. Okay. So, but all your consumer debt, let's try to get that stuff paid off before retirement. So that's kind of the easy stuff, I would say. Okay.
Yep.
Then everything else is tough stuff. It's hard. And specifically, I'm talking about your income longevity. Okay. That list said the stuff coming in. So that's what I'm talking about is we've got to really do some work here for your income and also your stock market risk. Okay. So how much everyone listening, you have to decide how much are you comfortable leaving up to chance? Okay. And this was a great analogy, just fell in my lap over the weekend here. I want to tell you about it. So I like to watch the PGA. I like golf. I was watching them this past weekend. And so, at the end of the day, they did this little segment. They're like, okay, let's and they showed everybody's approach shot on this par 4. Okay.
Yeah.
So they showed all these dots. There were about, 60 dots all over the place. Some were in the bunker, some in the rough, some were in the water, some were on the green. Right. And so that's where everybody had hit their shot to on this hole. It was pretty cool. I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
And then Jim Nantz goes, hello, friends. This is Jim Nantz. But then they put a dot right in the middle of the green. And they said, but this is the perfect spot where people should have hit it. And he was trying to illustrate, some sponsor said, we help you make better decisions. Okay. And so Jim was like, a better decision would have been to hit it right here. And I was like, hold up. It's not like those pros meant to hit it in the water.
Right.
Or in the bunker. Or, right.
Right.
I mean, they all had that target. They were all shooting for that target all day long. And these are pros.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's
and they
like,
still missed.
God, you put me out there, or you listening. I mean, there's no telling where it wouldn't even register yet. We'd still be hitting 3-4 shots to get up. But anyway, I was just blown away. Like, it's easy for you to say that a better decision, like it was in their mind.
Hindsight. Yes.
Yes. And so that was a great illustration for me here to talk about sequence of return. Risk. Okay. Sequence of return. So that's what we're talking about. So despite your best intentions in retirement, your income sources, and the stock market, they have the same effect on your money. Okay. Where some years you might be on the green, we might have had a good year or two or past 12 years. Even in the market, right? So these last few years here, heading into retirement, and maybe you've already retired in these first few years of retirement, luckily, the markets have done pretty good, right? And so you might have been hitting the greens. You might be even par, on your round of golf here. But what we have to do is we have to look at, the chance of a market crash or some of these income sources. If you're just picking at your money, right, every year that goes by, every hole that you play, there's just more and more risk that something could go really wrong, right? So let me tell you about a client, a single guy. He came in, called into the show here probably about 3 months ago. Okay. And he's a hard worker. He's like on the road every day. When we've called him, he's heading up to Myrtle Beach or, down towards Hilton Head. I mean, he covers a lot of territory here, does repairs, things like that. And he saved well for retirement. He's got about $400,000 in his IRA. Got it. Okay. Yep. And another $450,000 in after-tax non-qualified accounts. Okay. Okay. Yep. And so I said, great job. Hard worker. He's put all the, 3 decades, almost 4 decades into, this idea of retirement. And he said, Brandon, I want to retire here this summer, but I don't know how much I can reasonably pull from this money here, from what I've saved. And so he goes, and I'll tell you what, I don't want to leave anything up to chance. He's like, I've just worked so hard for this. When I walk away from this job, I can't come back. They're not going to hire me back, Yeah. And to get this territory that I've got now, it's perfect for me. I like it, but I like the idea of retirement more. Sure. And he's like, but I don't want to put this off any longer. If I'm going to do this here in like just a few months, I've got to get this plan together. Moreover, his brother was a little older than him, but his brother just passed away. And so some of that non-qualified money came from an inheritance from his brother. And so that was another reason why I was like, I've got to get this right. I want to go ahead and retire. Every year where I've got this good health, if I give it to my employer, that's one less year that I can give to my friends and family. Yep. Right? Yep. And so he said, I don't need much. All I need is about $50,000 a year. Right. 50,000 a year. Yeah, and I want to, that's not a lot. And he said, and I want to honor my brother with, the rest of my money there with what he left for me. I want to honor him, be smart with that money. And I said, I love it. Let's get to work. Yeah, right. Yeah. So we had several meetings. I rolled up my sleeves and I said, how much of your income of this 50,000 that you want, how much of it do you want it to be protected? Okay. How much do you want guaranteed? Because Most of it, so we put a plan together where about 75% of that is guaranteed, even if he runs out of money. Okay. Where he's going to have nice income coming in. We're utilizing Social Security and a fixed indexed annuity there with no fees. So it's wonderful. He loved it. He goes, man, I feel like I can breathe now, right? To know that I don't have to drive, an hour and a half, to work and then an hour and a half back and then next day down to Hilton Head, all this work. I know that with the plan that we've put together here, I know that, hey, my dignity, my needs, and even some wants are going to be taken care of. Right.
Yeah.
And then with what, my brother left, we're going to be able to handle those wants and those things that I really would love to do, because we're not going to do any more than about a 4 to 5% drawdown on that other money. Okay. And that money, we're utilizing our market guard portfolios. We've got beautiful exchange traded funds and dividend stock portfolios that are geared towards cranking out a nice little quarterly dividend for him.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even the money that's in the market, we're not chasing these big high flying tech stocks. We're looking at the ones that, hey, who are the ones for decades have been cranking out nice dividends, right? Where that just comes in and that's going to help just with a little bit of extra spending money for him. And it's a wonderful plan and it works. It's going to work great for him. I believe it. He's confident in it. And I think of you listening, right? You might be in a similar situation as that client right there where, if you've saved around 500,000 to $1 million, that range, I can show you plenty of examples where there could be some problems if you don't have that plan in place.
It's almost like people think you got to have like $2, $3, $4 million in order to need the help of a financial advisor. But really, if you're in that like $500 to $1 million range, like you need it more, that plan, that guidance.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It is. I implore those people because you are the ones that could run out of money.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah. If
the markets crash and you have longevity, right, you could run out of money. If you're in that range of, I'd say that 500 to $1 million. Okay. Yeah. If you're over that, if you got the $1 million or more, then arguably you could be fine.
Yeah.
Even handle a misstep or two.
Yeah.
Right. So for you listening, you deserve your own full-blown retirement game plan. Okay. And that's where we put everything together. It's the most work that I do, income plan, market review, tax analysis, all this stuff. Right. And where we take a look at what were you going to do? I can show you, potential blind spots or cracks in the plan and ways that we would fix that. Several options. You've got several things that we can choose from.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But the big thing is getting that plan in place so that you have the confidence that you deserve. If this sounds like you and you have these same concerns about your retirement, let me encourage you to head on over to bowenwealth.com and click on the contact tab so we can begin a conversation with you as well.
Thanks for listening to Charleston's Retirement Coach Podcast with Brandon Bowen. To learn more, visit bowenwealth.com and join Brandon for his radio show, Charleston's Retirement Coach, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 94.3 WSC and again at 1 p.m. on 1250 WTMA.
Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if J. Brandon Bowen is licensed in your state, please call 843-203-2030. J. Brandon Bowen is an investment advisor representative of Bowen Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. J. Brandon Bowen is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Bowen Wealth, LLC, insurance licensed in South Carolina. Market Guard is a registered investment advisor with the SEC and provides model portfolios only to Impact Partnership Wealth. Market Guard makes no implied warranties or representations and is not liable for any data presented.